Oh, see, that sounds good. That sounds good. That was a happy accident.
That's great.
Oh, shit, I forgot coasters. It's been that long, y'all.
Oh, shit. Damn.
They're in one of these drawers, right?
Yeah, they're in that one right there. Just grab 3.
Oh, that chorizo's really good. Oh, it's really spicy.
Oh, my God.
Thank you.
Do y'all want a fan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, of course we need fans because I had to turn off the air conditioning to record this episode.
Ooh.
That's the shit. That's the shit.
That is the
I
shit.
just grabbed
I was
all
just
the coasters.
unprepared for you guys. I was not ready.
I mean, you opened my beer before we started recording.
I know.
It's we're just getting back in the swing of things.
I know.
I think that's the max number of fans, but we can take turns.
I'll put it in the middle.
Yeah.
No, you keep fanning.
No, it's okay.
Oh, hi, Sophie.
As needed. So
This is normally where
you
we
guys,
say
it's
like,
awkward.
let's come up with a bit, except for then we just did a solid 15 seconds on
Nothing.
Coasters fans and Sophie. So I guess maybe we're out of practice. Hi, Kitty.
We got to get comfy.
Hello, are you going to shout? Did you want to come on my lap? Am I the new Zach?
Rude.
Oh, you
Oh
just
my
want
God.
to headbutt the table?
What did she do that for? Come on. Get on my lap.
Listeners,
Okay, there we go.
because this is an audio medium, what you don't know is that Sophie was just standing on a dining room chair with a pink towel on it. That's her shit. And rather than step onto my lap, she turned directly into the table and pushed her forehead into the edge of the table with great enthusiasm.
She's crazy.
And now she's happily ensconced on Julie's lap.
Yeah.
So I guess all is as it should be. The air conditioner's off. We have 2 alcohol beers and 1 non-alcoholic beer.
The alcohol
One
beer is called
sports brew.
Gay Agenda, so that's cool.
Gay Agenda. It's a double dry hopped, double IPA with peaches because peaches look like butts. Mm-hmm. And it's the Gay Agenda. And I don't know if you know this, but
Butts.
gay people have butts.
they like butts and they cannot lie.
Well,
because butts are
I think everybody likes butts.
butts are nice.
butts are nice.
I mean, I'm not gay. I like butts.
Yeah, I also like butts.
Yeah.
And I'm bi and I like butts. Julie, you're straight.
I'm straight. I used to think I didn't care about butts until my husband got one.
Welcome to Podlander Drunkcast, an Outlander podcast. I'm Allison.
I'm Julie.
That's Janine.
Hey.
And this is like our summer slam jam.
Yeah, I was like summer hang podcast style. Let's do this Podlander Drunkcast summer hang.
I don't know if you know this, but there have not been any new episodes of Outlander, so
Nope.
we're not going to have that to talk about. We still are eventually going to get back to the Dune vase. We still have some other topics we want to do, but this is just pretty much going to be us hanging out. So if you're one of those listeners that every time we go off on a tangent about tampons, you're like, gonna fast forward ahead. This episode's not for you. I'm
Not
really
for you.
sorry. Not for you.
But for everybody else,
Everybody
this
else.
one's for you.
Yeah, especially those of you who listen to the podcast and don't watch Outlander. This one is this
are my
buzz
favorites.
for you.
Yay!
So I guess before I already posed a question to these 2 that they know is coming, but before we do that, I just want to know, how's everybody's summer? What y'all doing?
It's okay so far. Pretty mellow. I'm about to be in my deep vacation kind of time because I've got a friend's wedding. Even though I'm not taking off any time from work for that, I'm traveling somewhere. So there's that. And then we've got the big camping trip that we have every year coming up. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about that. My office is dead this week. There's nobody in there. So it's nice. I'm getting a lot of shit done. Other than that, fucking living life, rolling around town, drinking booze, taking lifts, doing redacted sometimes, doing Maria Solved. I've got 2 episodes I'm recording on Saturday.
What are you recording? What are they? Spoilers.
Spoilers. This Saturday we will be recording The Sixth Sense.
Oh, you're right. You told me this. Yeah, The Sixth Sense.
And Rocky IV.
And the person doing The Sixth Sense, all they know is somebody dies.
Yeah, they just know somebody's dead, but they don't know anything about the twist.
Rocky
Sweet.
IV is a very interesting choice.
That one is courtesy of the folks that I worked with at Down in Front. One of their new writers, her name is Katie. She's never seen it, and that's the one that they're actually doing the treatment of right now. They're going to be doing the Down in Front of it at North Bar, like I think this week or next week. And Michael, the producer of Down in Front, reached out to me. He's like, this girl has never seen Rocky IV, so I'm going to tell her she can't write for this one, and instead she's going to come do your podcast. And I was like, okay.
Nice.
So on the 4th of July, literally on the 4th, I will be watching Rocky IV. It's going to feel, I'm going to feel some kind of way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're going to feel something American.
Something American.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel like I'm living in America. I know because James Brown's going to yell that at me like 10 times.
Well, you're also going to be watching an unnecessary chapter of a profitable movie franchise, which is incredibly American.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure sometime in the next couple weeks, I'll be going to the theater.
Is this for work?
No, this
Okay.
is going to be, I mean, it's probably sort of in theory for work, but no, this is going to be because of my special friend whose name we use willy-nilly, even though he would prefer we don't. But fuck it, Tom. It's because of Tom. Because they're releasing Endgame with like a new post-credit scene in the most blatant cash grab.
Are you gonna go watch all 3
history.
hours again?
I mean, I will. Here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to try to talk him into going to either Evanston or River North, so that I can
Take a nap.
at a certain point be like, I'm just going to stretch my legs, and then I'll go sit at the bar and like play the Harry Potter Pokemon game on
That's
my
right.
phone.
She's obsessed with it.
And just like go sit or maybe read a book. Like maybe I'll put a book in my purse, and he's just not even gonna know. Then he'll be like, "What took you so long?" And then I'll go, "Oh, I had to go smoke." And I don't smoke, and he will not even think anything
won't
of
even
it
care.
because he smokes. He'll just be like, "Oh, okay. Where'd you get the cigarettes?" And I'll be like,
Some dude on the street?
some hot guy.
Yeah.
He just came up to me and was like, "You want these cigarettes,
And this is all
little
day.
girl?" And then I said, "Yes, sir." Ew! I don't know where this story is going. Yeah.
It was kind of hot.
Anyway, what are you going to do on the 4th, Janine?
I will be in Washington.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I'm
very American.
yeah, well, Washington State. Sorry, I forget.
Pinko commie.
Yeah.
Less American.
Once I pass over the Mississippi, I forget that Washington means DC here. No, I'm going. So tomorrow, I'm starting a month-long trip in Washington State.
Are you driving?
No, but I will be driving back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so-
It's a great American road trip. That's pretty patriotic.
Yeah,
It's
and
fun.
I'm going to go see Mount Rushmore on that trip, and Old Faithful,
Sweet.
and Devil's Tower.
You know what's hilarious? I've done that drive, and I didn't do any of those things. I did different, weirder things.
Cool. Any suggestions?
Well, we went to Deadwood.
Oh yeah.
That was
That's on. That's got to
great.
be on there. Yeah.
That was really great. We stopped at a bunch of like oddball tourist attractions. I'll have to pull up the list.
Yeah.
Like was the world's biggest ball of twine or some
That
shit?
kind of shit. Yeah. We did not go to the world's biggest ball of twine. It was like the second biggest.
It's a good trip, and we're
beautiful.
gonna be doing. So me and my friend Jamie, she's gonna fly out and meet me in Seattle, and then we're gonna go together. And we have. You can do this trip in 4 days if you really want to push it, but we have 10, and I'm going to try and
nice.
do a victory lap into Canada through Michigan, around Lake Michigan, back into Chicago.
Sweet.
So that's that. I'm also going to see my family, mom and dad. Oh, so for 4th of July, I'll be in Grand Coulee with my brother-in-law's extended family. People I have no clue who they are.
Ooh.
There's like, from what I picture, thousands of children that are all on this side of the family. So that's going to be very overwhelming, I'm sure.
What I want to know is what is going to happen if this family that you barely know, if you get to small talking about, I don't know, television shows, and you're like,
Hobbies.
what shows do you watch? And the let's face it, probably lady is like, well, I really like this show Outlander. Are you going to out yourself?
I mean, I'll try to find a way to get there slowly and be like, so, you're like, oh, that's cool. Do you listen to podcasts too? Oh, there's some really good podcasts out there about Outlander.
It would probably go something like this. So, do you listen to podcasts too? Oh, podcast is like a radio show, but online.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, and then speaking
Unless you're talking to like an 18-year-old, in which case they're going to be like, podcasts are over.
Yeah, it's so yesterday.
Yeah, it's all about TikTok now, or whatever the fuck
Is
it
that
is.
that fucking Vine shit?
TikTok's like the next Vine.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. You know what, though? Vine could be fucking hilarious when in the right hands.
It could.
People were very good at that. I
Welcome
missed
to
it a little bit.
TikTodlander. Drunkcast and Outlander TikTok cast.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the video. Anyway.
Yeah. And then I'm also going to a space conference. So part of the whole reason for the trip to Washington originally was the nonprofit part of the Center for Space Commerce and Finance. We're producing 2 events, the Space Investment Summit plus a new space business plan competition at the New Space Conference. And so I will be doing that as well as producing 2 podcasts for the nonprofit and doing some other video stuff and whatnot. So,
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be a busy week.
Yeah.
Well, my shit. I'm also about to go into full summer travel mode as I am attending the same wedding that Julie is, and also going to the same camping trip that Julie is. What I'm
TCAs
saying
are coming up too, right?
Yeah. What I'm saying is by the end of July, Julie and I will no longer be friends.
That's it. It's over.
We'll have had entirely too much of each other. Anyway.
That's why we're getting this hang out of the way now.
Yeah. And then
In the good old days.
and then I
In the
go
good
to TCAs again. So that'll be happening. I don't know if there's a stars panel yet.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there will be stars panels. I don't know if there's an Outlander panel yet. That would be interesting.
Are we going to try to record again while you're gone?
Yeah.
This time I can do it closer to the router.
Yeah, we should try again.
Because that shit was gold. It
Yeah,
was
it was
comedy
really
gold.
We'll have to do it. We'll do like a little debrief on whatever.
Like what's up at
happened.
TCAs.
Yeah. And then I spent a pretty good portion of the last month watching every episode of Parts Unknown, Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown.
Oh, yeah.
For the Takeout, one of my outlets, so that I could write about every single episode and then do a ranked top 20. It ended up being 25,000 words.
Woof.
And my sleep schedule and, like, if I'm honest,
Life.
mental state is still pretty fucked. So it was very rewarding, but it was really, really hard. Anyway.
That's like producing a dissertation.
Oh, yeah. It's like a small book.
Yeah.
So if you like Anthony Bourdain, Google Anthony Bourdain The Takeout, and it should come up right away. Yeah. Anyway, that's like ate me alive. I also planned what I hope was a very successful joint bachelor party.
You know that shit was successful.
Well, you know.
Somebody cried. Probably somebody threw up. And epic fucking happened.
Well, one of the grooms definitely threw up in the bathroom of a Popeyes the next day.
Yes!
Which feels like a special kind of achievement unlocked.
Allison, it was a success.
Yeah. Anyway, it involved a party bus.
Oh,
and I'm
nice.
here to tell you all, don't knock a party bus.
It's fun.
That shit was
incredibly tacky and hilarious and fun.
I thought it was going to be like a little ironic and silly, and it was, but it was also a very comfortable, efficient method of transportation that just made people act like fools.
Yes.
Which is what you want, right? Like it was
Yes.
like a relatively subdued.
The next day, my right shoulder muscles hurt so bad because remember I stood and held onto the grab bar the whole time so that people around me could sit down, and mostly I was into it because I was like just showing some sweet fucking moves.
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah, we were dancing.
Yeah.
It was great, but I was really holding on so that I wouldn't fall into people's laps. And then the next morning I woke up and I'm like, God damn it, I'm old. I can feel it. I'm okay now though, y'all. I'm cool.
I think one of the last party buses I went on, someone actually inverted themselves while dancing because they had like 2 of the things.
Oh yeah, no, I don't do that.
I managed to lose my phone twice
Oh my
in
gosh.
the span of an hour. I found it both times.
Yeah.
But that's
a good party.
My party bus experience.
Also, let's not bury the lead. This didn't have anything to do with Allison's planning, but it did happen. We were at a drag club and Roxy Andrews showed up.
Her name is Roxy Andrews. She was there to make it clear. She knows we love her baby. That's why we brought her there. We didn't bring her there. Yeah, that was. I didn't actually get to see her because I was out looking for the bus. But
Yeah, she was right behind us, and she was dressed as a boy. But like, I turned around and I was like, and then one of the guys next to me goes, "I think that's Roxy Andrews," and I was like, "It is."
oh,
No, Sophie.
Sophie just tried to get up on the table.
No.
She too wants the party bus experience.
That's where she lives all day, every day when we're not here. I just know it, just like putting her little shit feet all over our kitchen table.
Anyway, I'm curious. Here is our official topic,
Do it.
which Aaron has sort of. Sorry.
Who's that?
Janine.
Oh, yeah.
Has sort of already touched on his, but we'll go into more detail. I want to know, since we're in, hold on, I've got to hold my nose.
Please don't.
Since we're in Droughtlander,
Tasty.
Gross.
I want to know what the most Outlander experience you've had this summer is.
Allison already knows the story I'm going to tell.
Yeah, get in there. Get in
Okay.
there.
Well,
Do you want to do my boring one first? Because mine's boring.
Tell the boring one first then, because
Yeah.
this one's pretty epic.
Yeah, because I don't yours just was better placement.
Okay, sure.
So mine is I'm going to produce 2 podcasts. Actually, it's going to turn out to probably be 3. So this is me just plugging these. If you guys are interested in hearing more about space and entrepreneurs and investment, the first podcast is going to be Talking Up Space is the name of it. And essentially it's going to be, we're going to try and do a little bit more of the more production value to it. On the
Wait, was that
What are you
shade?
saying? What are
I'm
you saying?
sorry.
Was that a baby tree?
That was fucking shady as fuck.
Yeah, sorry.
You bitch.
says the guy who started out producing this and made choices.
But we make the right choices because we get the right people.
Intentionally lo-fi. It's ironic.
But we're gonna
And
try.
we're drunk.
Yeah, that's also the thing. So it's going to be hopefully stylized in like This American Life or Radio
yeah.
Lab, where we're using narration. The idea of Talking Up Space is to meet entrepreneurs who are involved in the space industry, kind of get their backstory about how they became interested in space and what really drives them to be a part of that very bizarre, kooky industry. And then segue into talking about the business that they're building and the product and service. And the narration will be a part of it so that we can kind of bridge the gap between maybe the high-end technical stuff, but also like just talk about what they're really doing and why it's important. So that we can, bridge this gap between just the excitement of space and the complete, intense academic aspect of space.
So bridging the gap between space and space.
That's
Oh,
better.
that's good.
Cool.
That's good. Good branding. Good branding.
That'll be $20,000.
I was going to say, don't give that shit away for free now.
Don't put it on Twitter. Make it a pitch.
And then the other one, which actually I'm much more excited about, is called Mission Eve. And so Mission Eve is about gender parity in space.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so the idea is that if we're going to go to space, like we have a lot of like issues with gender parity on the planet, but in a certain way, I know she likes it.
Sophie likes it when you get all feminist and shit.
Yeah, what's up, baby?
She loves it.
With all the issues we're having, it's kind of like saying, well, we have to start working towards gender parity, but in a way, space requires gender parity. If we are going to everything requires gender parity, but like to colonize space, we have to have 50% women, and we're just not even close to that in a space perspective.
Right.
So this
Couldn't even have 2 spacesuits, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, that shit.
Yep.
That was a burn. That was a
kind of
hard
shit.
burn.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
And also not nuts. Completely
Yes, yes,
expected.
Well, and ridiculous too, because that was planned for months.
Yeah,
This
who
wasn't like a knee-jerk decision on their end.
Who was not there going, that suit's going to be too big for her?
Yeah.
You know what? I wasn't there.
For those who didn't know, there was 2 women who were going to do spacewalks, and they were on the International Space Station, and that takes a lot of planning. And then when the newer astronaut got there, they found out or they suddenly realized that they only had one spacesuit that was sized for a woman. Or for a
right,
smaller
so
frame.
only one woman could go out that
Yeah.
time instead of the 2.
Yeah. Ridiculous. So the conversation is going to be less, it's more about just trying to understand who are the women involved in space and their stories. Not so much about entrepreneurship and investment, but like trying to say, hey, these are the women who are involved. You should be excited about being in space. There are role models that you can think about, and there's a place for you. Please join us. So those are the 2 things I'm doing. So I guess producing podcasts is the kind of Podlander thing I'm related to.
I mean, that is
The link.
a very Outlander thing for your Outlander experience. Now, what I want to know
Sure.
is, will it be people talking about this space stuff, which you haven't watched in advance, so you're experiencing space vicariously through them?
Well, actually, very similarly, because they're all much smarter than me.
Okay, fair.
And so,
What about
be learning.
What about, are there going to be nicknames?
You got to let that shit grow organically.
yeah, I can't say
you
yes,
can't promise
yes or no to
nicknames.
that
okay,
one.
all right. And when do you start drinking?
After them.
Okay.
Sorry, these are not drunk podcasts, unfortunately.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Just means they're not legitimate.
That's true. That's why this is the boring pod.
It's
thing.
recognized internationally that podcasts are only truly podcasts if somebody is wasted.
What are they if they're not wasted?
They're just audio.
It's just an audio file.
I don't know.
That's all it is.
It's an audio cast.
It's like radio on the internet, Mama.
Well, I'll have a Foley artist. Don't worry.
All right. So we have someone to open our cans for us. All right, Julie. What's the most Outlander experience you've had so far this summer?
Okay, well, I've talked about it before on the show. Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Sophie.
But I'm sure it's no real secret that I've got a hardcore boner for my husband. Which is a good thing because, we're married. It's nice to still have boners for each other. So the completely successful bachelor party, we didn't get home from that business until like 4 a.m.
We made a rookie mistake, which actually sounds like it might not have been a mistake in Neil and Julie's case, but we finished our private room karaoke at like close to 3 a.m. And then went to another bar.
You know where, the O.
Not the O.
Yeah, we went to the O for a final picture. We almost closed down the O. We were not there till final close, but we almost closed down the motherfucking O after all that shit. So
Jesus.
we got home at like 4 a.m. You could hear the damn Tweety birds outside just waiting to suck. And we just got down to it. Like, serious, doing it. Like 2 hours of doing it. And when we were done, the sun was up and we had not gone to bed yet. And it was like, oh, okay. I'm old, but I still got it. So I told Allison and Tom about it the following night at Redacted.
You're leaving out the end of the experience, which is the part that I think is peak Outlander to me. Not the conversations. What's the last thing you did?
The last thing is, well, that was part of when I told you about it. I'll weave it into that part.
Okay.
So I was in a fucking lift with Allison and Tom, as I am often. And I was telling them about the epic doing it. And these were words that were used. Allison reminded me of some. I maybe remember some. I know that epic was there. She said I said barbaric.
She definitely said barbaric.
There was probable chat about how we filth talked. And it was all the dirty talk and all that shit. Just like then the sun came up. And then I was like, and then I made him go get me a glass of whiskey because I fucking deserved it.
Yep. She also said we just destroyed each other.
We did. On the record, I would like the record to reflect that we fucking destroyed each other.
What a good evening.
And then we had to, because the sun was fucking up, we had to put our little eye masks on. Listeners, Neil sleeps with a tiny little eye mask that has kittens on it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, what a treat.
You guys are my idyllic couple.
This story isn't done yet.
Oh, and then we got up the next morning. And, morning, probably more like noon, I think it was. And I was like, I need some greasy food. And so we tried to find a brunch place to go. We went to a place in our neighborhood that we always go to, and we bought brunch because I fucking deserved it. And then what came after that?
Well, I feel like this is my lap of a relay race because you weren't there for this part of it.
Yeah.
So after Julie says all this shit to me.
So that was Monday night. That was the night after.
It is not unusual for Julie to talk her shit, right? Like,
I always talk about doing it.
Yeah, she not always in a lift, in the front seat of a lift.
God. That poor Lyft driver. I just don't think she knew how to deal with it.
Just like detail about like dripping sweat and like all kinds of shit.
Y'all, it was real.
It is not.
I'm happy to be alive. That's what I'm saying.
Unusual. It's not like a common occurrence, but it's not unusual for Julie to talk that kind of shit. But then the next night, maybe 2 nights later, we were at the Oasis and Julie was not there.
Not yet. I had not arrived yet.
Yeah. And we're sitting down with Neil, and it's just me and Tom and Neil. And Neil, who is a much more taciturn person, a gregarious person, but also a private person.
He keeps that shit close to the vest.
Right.
Goes, do not.
You guys, Julie and I just had the most epic session of doing it on Sunday. After that bachelor party, we just absolutely mutilated each other. It just like went nuts. It was primal and just. It's like, oh my God, what was this? This was like some fucking season 1, episode 7 shit or whatever episode it is. It was just
It's so funny that he said that because he never does.
No, I've never.
That's
ever,
how I know it was good.
Ever heard Neil talk about your sex life ever?
I always
we
do.
Are good friends. There was a period of time where we were good friends and I didn't know you yet. There have been periods of time when Neil and I have been closer than you and I have been. Not often, but because fuck that guy. You're the tits. But
but wait. Leave him here.
I will do.
Just saying.
But to hear him not only bring it, because we didn't ask him about it. Unbidden prompted was like, you should hear about when I put my penis in my wife's vagina. It was great. It was nuts. So this must have been some really epic,
good, man.
barbaric, legendary doing it.
It was pretty legendary, I will say.
That seems very Outlander to me.
yeah.
It's very Outlander.
It definitely ranks in the top 5 of our doing it's. It's up there. But yeah, the sun being up afterwards was just like the fucking cherry on top. Like, what am I, 22? But then I did sleep until noon. So I mean, I got sleep.
A solid 6 hours.
With my mask. I don't even think I put my earplugs in because I think it was just like whiskey, good, and I'm out. I think it was like that because we were exhausted.
And then you washed your sheets.
Yes, we did.
So what's the most Outlander thing that I did? Well, it was really crazy. I was walking through the village the other day and I got accused of being a witch. It was really wild.
What?
Just kidding.
Well done.
That was a joke. I really thought you were. I really thought that was real.
Village?
I just thought Rogers Park.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is the village. We should start calling Rogers Park no, we shouldn't.
The village.
No, we shouldn't.
No, because then it's some weird M. Night Shyamalan.
'cause it's-
Or it's
crap.
like
This is the RP.
New York, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
RP.
This is the Raj.
I was curious if there was a village here, though, so that's right. Because
No.
Okay.
I have never been. Well, actually, no, I have been
Ukrainian?
accused of being a witch, but it was on the internet.
Oh.
So it doesn't
Oh.
count.
Yeah, no.
It was also not all that long ago. I should add that. I have a thread that I've been updating occasionally on Twitter of things that men explain to me. And I have not updated it since a man tried to explain me how to ask famous people if hot dogs are sandwiches.
oh Jesus,
Which is like, I should
What?
update for when the guy called me a witch. Yeah, he was like, you really should go about it this way.
No, fuck you.
you know
No.
the absurdity of just telling you how to ask that question, but also you're much more fucking experienced than him at doing
Like
that.
it specifically
Specifically
at
that
this
thing.
Very specific granular thing that you do. Hey, blank is a
Yeah,
hot dog a
that's-
sandwich.
Yeah.
You literally have no one has more experience at that than you.
I feel like we've maybe reached peak. Is a hot dog a sandwich? And we might have to switch to a new question.
Yeah.
I have to talk to my boss about this, so please nobody put this on the internet.
Too late, it's already
But
there.
I talked to Joey Chestnut, who is the world record holder for competitive hot dog eating.
Right.
And I asked him if a hot dog is a sandwich, and I feel like that.
That might be the capper.
That's it. We tried to get the Earl of Sandwich. That's the only thing I think that could really top it.
Is there still an Earl of Sandwich?
Oh yeah, it's a title. There have been many Earls of Sandwich.
Oh, of course. No, but I mean, that the line is still alive.
The line lives on.
Wait,
Wow.
like we're legit? Where is that?
Yeah,
It's
England.
in England, yeah.
Really?
The
He's
Earl
the
of
guy.
Sandwich.
He's the quote unquote guy, and I'm sure it was not him. I'm sure it was some woman in the kitchen that did it for him. But like, he's the one that is said to put meat between bread to eat it while he was gambling.
Weird.
So
Sandwich.
London, England's weird.
I love it. And also, wow, it seems like a shit show there. No, so here's the most Outlander thing I've actually done. I haven't had epic sex. I haven't produced a podcast.
It's not too late.
For
On either.
which,
Yeah, for both.
Yeah.
well, I'll put those both on my to-do list. One is going to be a little higher than
I'm
the
going to
other.
say one is number one.
What have I done? I know what my main thing I'm going to talk about, but I'm trying to see if I haven't been accused of being a witch. I haven't gotten a smallpox vaccine, but please vaccinate your children. I haven't borrowed a prostitute's clothes, sex workers' clothes. They say prostitute. Actually, they say hoer. But I have used my fake Scottish accent with some frequency.
For what?
Life.
Just cuz?
Just because I can. I watched a lot of TV with friend of the show, Sweet Nothings NYC, our friend Keenan.
Did you see that shit she put online where she's trying to find people for her next model shoot, and it's going to be modeled after the Gentileschi painting of Judith and Holofernes where she's cutting his head off. Oh. And she has that painting up, and then she wrote in it, like, just kidding, guys, you know it's going to be fun. And then over here, it's like, it's not going to be this gross. Or like, so.
No, I have not seen that. That's awesome.
It made me laugh so hard. It's going to be a really good time. It won't be this violent.
She's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Keenan.
Hi, Keenan. Also, her sister, Scooter, got the Fleabag jumpsuit. That was tight.
So last night, as my like happy pride on Twitter message, I just didn't know what to say. So I was like, I think it said, happy pride from a tired bisexual. Here's a photo of a dear friend rocking the holy shit out of the Fleabag jumpsuit. And it has gotten, there were further tweets in the thread that have gotten responses, but that tweet has gotten exactly one response. And it was from the Twitter account for Fleabag.
Yeah!
Holy shit.
And it just said, divine. So I took a screenshot and texted it to Scotty saying that she's official now. Technically, I texted it to Scotty and Keenan on our little joint, our little 3-person text thread. And I said, Scotty, you have been officially endorsed. And Keenan responded, I'm furious. Allison, she will be insufferable forever now. Our friend Scotty does indeed rock the holy shit out of the Fleabag jumpsuit. It is astonishing. She has too much power. It's a really dangerous thing. Anyway, the most Outlander thing that I have done. Oh boy, I'm so excited. Hold on. Now I need to get her name. I need to get the author name. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Here we go.
Okay, I know what this is.
This is the reason that we have this topic. It's really just because I wanted to tell you all about this. So I'm not going to spoil anything for you. I'm just going to tell you some of this. I found, this is, by the way, targeted recommendations are evil and scary, but
sometimes they write
effective.
They
because I had just, I'm really outing myself so much right now. I had just finished listening to the last audiobook. I listen to audiobooks when I clean, and I can only do it if it's a book I've already read or a book where I actually don't have to pay that much attention or like invest that much emotionally. Junk food books, basically. So when I'm cleaning or commuting, I often listen to audiobooks. I just finished the last book in a murder series called Murder on Location, about a location scout, Kate, the location scout, who in the first book has to fly to England when her boss, who took her under his wing to teach her the ways of the location scout, goes missing while they're scouting for a film adaptation of Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, God.
So she has to fly and try to figure out where he is, and then inadvertently ends up helping to solve the mystery, of course. And while she's there, she meets another location scout whose name is Alex, the son of an American diplomat. So he is, of course, a resident of the UK, but has an American accent. Anyway, and they, of course, slowly and gradually fall in love. And then she just continues to scout locations for Jane Austen-related properties in the south of England. And then murders happen. So these books are called things like Death at an English Cottage, Death at a Stately Home,
What a weird niche.
Death in a Picturesque City, Death at an English Wedding, shit like that. It's hilarious and dumb. And the funniest part was in the last book, they're trying to solve the crime and they find in the little hotel where the victim was staying, there was a bag of what looked like leaves. So then there's a non-ironic big concern that he is into drugs because he had marijuana. And he wasn't into that kind of thing. He wasn't a druggie. And I was like, I feel like I know more about this author now.
He wasn't taking the pot.
I was not taking the pot. I feel like maybe I need to stop and consider some choices before I move on to her next series about a high society lady detective.
She's got your number.
Right. However, I was going to try to figure out if I was going to start this high society lady detective series when I got a suggested thing from Amazon for the first book in a series. The title of the book is Single Malt Murder by Melinda Mullet. Oh. And the series is a whiskey business mystery. You know what? I'm gonna fucking read the description to you because I'm gonna tell you additional details because Like, of course I am. Oh my God. Look, I'm already getting a recommendation for another one. Death Distilled. A whiskey business mystery.
Death Distilled.
Death Distilled. Hold on. Let's.
No, you're giving me an idea now. Now I need to start.
Let's hear a little clip. I'm going to go just to the beginning. Let me remember where I am. Chapter 24. Great. I got this yesterday. I'm in chapter 24.
Oh my gosh.
It's like that.
This is Audible.
Audible Studios presents Single Malt Murder, a whiskey business mystery.
Oh.
Mystery.
Written by Melinda Mullet, performed by Gemma Dawson. Chapter 1. Are you going to tell me why you're sitting there looking like something the cat dragged in on an off night? Or should I order another bottle of wine and start
You're going to need another bottle of wine.
That is her gay best friend. Hi, Neil.
Hi, Neil.
That is her gay best friend, Patrick, the editor of editor-in-chief of a wine and spirits magazine. But they are friends back from when they were journalists together. Mm-hmm. She is an award-winning photojournalist who travels to war-torn countries to take photos. But she's very frustrated because her editors won't publish the pictures of what's going on in Sierra Leone. Then her beloved Uncle Ben dies, who had raised her since her parents were killed in a car crash when she was 8.
What is it with Uncle Ben's? Why are they always dying?
They're very
He
honorable.
seems like a very nice man.
Well, they really take things on.
And she has to travel to one of her bequests. Mostly she just gets all of his money, and he was really rich. But she has to take time off work because, first of all, she's very frustrated about her editor not publishing the photos of what's happening in Sierra Leone. But also, she has to travel up to a little village outside Edinburgh. I can't remember. I think it's Edinburgh. Anyway, where the distillery that her uncle bought sort of as a hobby, but which became his passion and which he tended later in life, where she has to go and figure out what she's going to do with it now that she owns it. Probably she's going to sell it, but then she starts getting death threats because no woman should be in the whiskey business.
Oh my God. Like, I didn't think that this could be more up your alley, and then all of a sudden that turn really took it there.
Just wait. So she goes there, right? She travels. Her gay best friend comes with her. I want to remind you, her gay best friend, Patrick, is the editor-in-chief of Wine and Spirits magazine.
Yeah.
They take the train up or drive or whatever the fuck they do, and they get there and go into her house, and there's the Haven, that's his house.
Oh my God.
Fresh baked bread waiting for them. They find out more bad shit's been happening at the distillery, and then she comes face to face with Grant.
Oi.
She has a thing where part of what makes her such a good photojournalist is that she's very intuitive about people. She can look at somebody and just immediately conjure 3 words that define them. I'm fucking loving this book. I know it sounds ridiculous. You just have to trust me.
But it's fun. It's a summer read. Summer read.
But she looks at him and she can't get the 3 words. So she doesn't know if she should trust him or not. So far, she's only been able to conjure 1 word.
Yeah?
Would you like to guess what it is? What 1 word?
Smoky.
No.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's not an adjective for whiskey.
Oh, well.
I mean, it could be, but it's not.
Stoic.
No. He is pretty stoic, though.
I was going to say charming, but that seems like too basic.
No. Other people get charming, and sometimes it's kind of bad.
Oh.
There's like artifice attached to it. No, the word is passionate.
Oh,
But
of course.
passionate can have many connotations.
Yeah.
She isn't sure that she trusts him, but he does have gold-flecked eyes that change color with his emotion.
Oh my God.
Is he a lizard person from Anukai? Come on.
Y'all, ooh!
You just got this fucking series like at least 20 more buyers.
I like to think so. So far, there has been no fucking, but there has been a lot of like, I might get murdered. I have to stop thinking about how I'd like this man to fuck me. There's been a lot of that. And a lot of jokes about that. It's very, she keeps being like, well, I just can't stop staring at his mouth. But it's really bad because he might be the person who's trying to kill me. Oh, no. But I can't stop staring at his mouth. And you know what? Relatable. Anyway, it is great. I'm having the best time.
Go ahead and give the full title of the series and everything again one more time just so that everybody gets it so they can go look it up right now.
Single malt murder. Well, hold on. Wait. We'll just have her do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is Audible.
Audible Studios presents Single Malt Murder, a whiskey business mystery. Written by Melinda Mullet. Performed by Gemma Dawson.
We're going to
Yes.
just skip ahead to a random part in this first chapter. Let's just see what happens.
Whiskey
I handed
business.
Patrick an envelope with no return address or postmark. He pulled out the plain card within and read, "No woman should possess the water of life. Try, and you'll die at the point of a knife."
Oh.
Oh,
Wait,
it's rhymes.
Appalling verse.
See what I mean? This
Those
shit,
coats.
exactly. It is right up my alley.
That's
It is.
hilarious.
It is almost as up my alley as a penis goes up a vagina.
Almost.
To stay on topic.
Almost.
But with less of a curve. It's just like straight and narrow. Anyway, and it is not misogynist or homophobic at all or remotely racist. It's great. I'm very much enjoying it.
Excellent.
It is not good, but it is great. So if y'all hear this and think, man, I need that in my life, you can also obviously read it in book form well, you know what? Let's find out if it's actually, you can get a paperback copy of it or whatever. I'm sure you can read it on Kindle, but we're going to
I was
going to
say, this seems like one of those Kindle books that you get because you don't need people seeing you with that book cover.
Single Malt Murder, a whiskey business mystery. Single Malt Murder. You know what?
Whiskey business.
Single Malt Murder came up before Single Malt Scotch Book, Single Malt Scotch Glasses, Single Malt Scotch Glasses Crystal.
You know why,
Single
though?
Malt Glasses or Single Malt Book.
You've played it like 5 times on your Audible, so it's probably like just primed.
Probably. All right, let's see.
Whiskey
Yes,
business
you can
murder.
get it on Kindle. Oh, and not in paperback. So this is a Kindle or audio death distilled. Dyed in the wool.
Oh, man. Hold on.
Melinda Mullet, I love you.
I know it's too hot.
Let's
in
find
here.
out. Melinda Mullet was
No, it's
born
actually
in
okay.
Dallas and attended school in Texas, Washington, D.C., England, and Austria. She spent many years as a practicing attorney before pursuing a career as a writer. Author of the Whiskey Business Mystery Series, Mullet is a passionate supporter of childhood literacy. She works with numerous domestic and international charities striving to promote functional literacy for all children. Melinda lives just outside Washington, D.C. with her whiskey collecting husband, 2 extraordinary young women she is proud to call her daughters, and an obedient school dropout named McAllen.
And also, she's known as a party in the front. Sorry, business in the front, party in the back.
All right,
Well, that's
so we've
what that's
got
the whiskey business
we've
murder is
got-
all about.
Dyed in the Wool,
why is
Single
there-
Malt Murder, Deadly Dram.
I have a question.
Deadly Dram.
Why is it a British reader? Like, why is it performed with a British accent?
That's a British character.
Is it?
Yeah, she's British.
Oh.
She's British. She's British.
British. She's
She's very British.
Do that again.
She's British.
That was really bad. Ooh.
I'm not the talent here.
Yeah, so you can get it on Kindle, Audible audiobook, or audio CD for $24.99.
You know there are people who did.
Don't get it on audio CD. Anyway,
Who has a Discman that can listen to that like that? Well, I guess cars.
Meemaws everywhere.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I shouldn't judge.
photojournalist Abby Logan is.
Also, apologies
hold
to any Meemaws that listen to us.
No.
I'm sure you exist.
I'm glad you stuck with us this long to get to this summer
yeah,
hangout.
I mean, if you really got here this long,
All right,
then
hold on. We're going to do the official synopsis just because I feel like I might not have done it right. Are you ready? Hold on. Abigail Logan never expected to inherit a whiskey distillery in the Scottish Highlands, but in the first novel of an engaging new series blending fine spirits with chilling mystery.
blending, get it?
Yes. Abby finds that there are secrets lurking in the misty glens that some will go to any lengths to protect, even murder. When Abby inherits her uncle's quaint and storied single malt distillery, she finds herself immersed in a competitive high-stakes business that elicits deep passions and prejudices. Get it? Get it? Maybe also
Passion, prejudice,
pride.
pride and
An
prejudice.
award-winning photojournalist, Abby has no trouble capturing the perfect shot, but making the perfect shot is another matter. Oh, Lord! When she starts to receive disturbing anonymous threats. Also, at some point, somebody hangs a dead duck on her doorknob. When she starts to receive disturbing anonymous threats, it's clear that someone wants her out of the picture, but Abby's never been one to back down from a fight. Arriving on the scene with her whiskey-loving best friend Patrick and an oversized Wheaton Terrier named Liam, which her uncle got her and named for Liam Neeson because she had a crush on Liam Neeson when she was little. Abby seems to put everyone in the bucolic village on edge, especially her dour but disturbingly attractive head distiller. Acts of sabotage and increasing personal threats against Abby make it clear she is not welcome. When one of Abby's new employees is found floating face down in a vat of whiskey, Abby is determined to use her skills as an investigative journalist to identify the cold-blooded killer and, oh God, I'm so glad I read this, dispense a dram of justice before he strikes again. But distilling truth from lies is tricky, especially when everyone seems to have something to hide. Melinda Mullet's delightful whiskey business mysteries can be read together or separately.
Oh, good.
Enjoy responsibly.
Okay, that shit sounds
All
like
right,
fun.
so if y'all want to
God.
read this, I'm going to obviously read this entire series and then not know what to do with myself after and just start writing fan fiction. So if you want to read them, tell me on Twitter or in the Slack or whatever, and I will start a Slack channel and we can read them all together. I'm not sure we're going to get Janine on board, but I'm going to try really hard to get Julie in there. Oh, come on. Abby. She's an award-winning photojournalist with a dog named Liam.
The dog really is.
And she does do a lot of accidentally falling into him and being like, oh no, I have to leave the room immediately before I make a terrible decision. Shit like that.
but she falls down a lot because that's like relevant to my.
No, I mean, in her defense,
Interest.
she was very wobbly from, I think, drinking and also being in a car accident. And then she tripped and landed on his pecs.
Oh yeah,
And then his eyes changed color. Probably.
Oh God.
I'm real into it. And then she drinks some terrible whiskey and doesn't like it. And she drinks some really good whiskey and she likes it. And there's a nice granny.
Well, that's always good.
I love a granny. It sounds very much. I think part of the reason that I like those scenes is the granny sounds a lot like Fitzmom.
Oh,
Ann
Gibbons.
Gil-
Annette Badland.
Annette
Badland.
Badland.
Oh, geez.
Fitzgibbons
She's-
was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fitzmob. Anyway, that's the most Outlander thing I've done this
It's
summer.
pretty fucking outlandish.
That's really out.
Not enough sex, but I just love that she was raised by her eccentric, wealthy uncle, a la
Ben Lamb.
Yeah.
a la Claire. Oh, poor Uncle Lamb. You know what? Why don't we get a fucking Uncle Lamb spinoff? That's what I want.
That'd be
I want to
cool.
know about Uncle Lamb. I want rich archaeologist touring the globe with his wayward niece.
I get behind that. There could be some kind of connection to Fraggle Rock on that one.
Not before I see a Lord John Grey spinoff.
Yeah.
Well, but there is a Lord John Gay spinoff. I'm talking about the bus.
You just said Lord John Gay.
Well, you know. Happy Pride. Wow, happy Pride.
Pardon me.
Yeah. There is a Lord John Grey spinoff. That's the thing. When I'm talking
Are we going to
about,
see it on Stars though?
I don't know. I guess it depends how much money Outlander makes for them.
Oh yeah. We still have people
Sing
asking.
me a song of a lass that is extremely profitable.
Yeah. We still have people asking whether or not it's going to make it all the way to the end.
I mean, how much further is
there's
that?
all. Look, you know this fandom is crazy, right?
Yeah.
There are all sorts of like rumors and crazy talk about
Been around for this
that it's
long.
going to be canceled and like all this shit. I just think it's that they don't know how to have nice things.
Well, here's the thing. If everybody stops watching it, then they'll cancel it. But there doesn't seem to be, there's been, let's say, something of a dip in quality.
Yeah.
And yet people are still watching, including us.
Yes. Well,
So-
we have a professional obligation
Yeah, but come on.
and people
Yeah.
who depend on us.
Yeah, we're here
Yeah,
for you
that's actually
guys.
true.
Listen, if we stop watching that shit, so many people would be so pissed. You know it.
They know where we hang out too.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we get the angry fan tweets, like I
Yeah.
got when I wrote that Vulture thing.
Oh, yeah. Except that all of our fans were like, she's right.
You know what really surprised me about that? And I think we probably talked about this, but I'm just going to say it again. I structured my whole argument being around the idea that surely everyone must be glad that Myrta's not dead. Nope.
That's wrong.
Weird and wrong.
That is wrong.
There was like a whole like fur ta where it spelled like faux. Maybe that was it. Or like Myrtont, like it's Myrta with don't.
Oh my
It was
God.
something
Speaking
like
of
that.
don't.
Where I was like, hold on. It didn't work as well as I hoped.
But it did work.
Here, I'll slam my beer into my head.
There you go.
Speaking of air conditioning, more beer. Do we have other stuff to talk about? I don't want to cut it short, but I like since we're in Droughtlander, I don't really know what to.
Well, we could talk about shows that we've all been watching, but Fleabag is really a good one.
Yeah.
I just watched that. I just finished
Christ.
Dark, which is really good.
I fucking love Fleabag.
Fleabag, the first season of that made me uncomfortable because I was like, there's a lot going on in that show, and then the second season of that was just so delightful, given the tragedy of the first.
You know who didn't really care for season 2? Oh, Scooter.
Really?
Yeah. It's the whole thing about the hot priest, because she's a little bit more of a churchgoer than we are. And there's a whole thing with like people who try to get close to priests. And then she's got the whole thing about how this is, decades of abuse of priests taking advantage of their position. And she was very critical. She still very much enjoys Phoebe Waller-Bridge and how smart she is and all that stuff. But she definitely had a different perspective on season 2 that I had not considered.
Huh, interesting.
Cool.
I loved it, but I also I'm surprised that they turned me around on that dude. What's his name? The guy that was Moriarty?
Oh, Andrew Scott.
Yeah, because when he first showed up, I was like, ew!
He's so good.
Because
He's
I
a very
hated him
good
on
actor.
Sherlock.
He's a very good actor, and he has his Black Mirror episode was also really quite wonderful and hard. Oh my God, that was a hard episode to watch.
I think that he did exactly what was expected of him on Sherlock, and sometimes that meant it was great, and sometimes that meant it was absolutely insufferable.
Right. He was just it's so over the top. And it was just always like, oh, God, get Moriarty out of there. I don't want to watch this anymore. Yes, I know this is supposed to be Sherlock's big villain, but this guy's driving me crazy. So when he showed up, I was like, no.
In a way,
But then he came through and they were quite a delight together and it was fine. But at first, like I said, it managed to turn me around on Adam Scott. So good.
well, I wonder if he's was just miscast for Moriarty because he's
No.
Andrew Scott.
Andrew Scott. sorry,
Adam Scott.
is fucking calzone.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben Wyatt.
Yeah.
A.K.A. Mr. Madeline Martha Mackenzie in Big Little
Oh,
Lies.
yeah, that's right. We did watch, Allison got me to watch the first episode of Big Little Lies last night. I'll probably continue at a slow pace. But I need to finish Jane the Virgin first.
if you want to watch a time travel show, Dark is so good.
I read a little bit about it. I don't know much about it.
It is fucking confusing as shit. So it's a Netflix original German show that luckily that wonderfully has American music. So that was more fun for me. But essentially, what it is that there's time loops, and so all the characters are meeting themselves as younger and older versions of themselves. Oh, cool. And so there's the first season. So and apparently the seasons are organized in cycles. So like the first character you meet, Jonas. You meet his older self later, and then you also meet his additionally older self, and each ones are protagonists and antagonists out through the entire season. So like they're interacting with each other in really weird ways. Each season is a cycle, so there's a time loop that they're kind of like working themselves through, and then it ends with that cycle ending, and therefore the next season is the next cycle. This is the perfect like stereotypical existential nihilist like German show to watch, but it's so smart and really hard to follow. But if you want some good time traveling, well, they're all bad time travelers for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, who isn't?
Were they not prepared? Like it just happens to them?
What
God.
did they put in their bum rolls?
They have a time machine, I guess. So that's one thing they brought.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a bit smarter.
So they should have a time machine. It's not a dick rock. They're not depending on nature.
But man, they do not respect the relationships that need to be developed over time. You guys got to watch this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very good.
Speaking of time loops,
Russian doll.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have another.
Yeah.
I've some personal news.
Oh yeah, we haven't even mentioned it.
I got the Russian doll bangs.
She has bangs.
I
Y'all.
got the Russian,
She went bangs.
specifically the Russian doll bangs. They're very poofy. I told my new hair guy that I wanted to be able to do like Natasha Lyonne and Russian Doll meets Patti Smith in the 70s, where it honestly looked better if I did nothing at all. And he said, great, please do as little as possible to this, and it's going to look like you don't care, but in a good way. And I was like, perfect, that's exactly what I want. What do you think? Does it look like I don't care, but in a good way?
Yay!
So I have Russian doll bangs. Anyway, if you haven't yet gotten on the Russian doll bandwagon, Russian doll is the tits.
That's a
really
really
good.
good one.
It's a very, very
Natasha
good show.
Lyonne is incredible.
There's also a great time loop episode of Legends of Tomorrow, which is still a show I am evangelizing.
Y'all, I need another beer. Hold on.
Deeply silly.
I
Deeply
use,
silly show.
Can I have another non-alcoholic beer?
keep talking now.
There's been I feel like that's, I don't know, maybe this is just the algorithms at work for me, but like I feel like everything I watch these days has some, like anything sci-fi related is dealing with time loops and time
That is
paradoxes.
almost certainly an algorithm.
Yeah, because like it's everything I see.
Yeah, give me that, Bells.
Like there's one called this is from a few years ago, but this movie called Arc. Trish from Jessica Jones is in it, and it's like it's another time loop thing, but they can remember what happens after they die. Thank you. It's quite good.
Thank you.
And Legion just started, so that's a whole other thing.
You know what? I quit Legion and I have never felt better.
You know, you mentioned the criticism, like, because I've just enjoyed the visualness of it, and I actually haven't really been paying attention to the story. But
Yeah, it's beautiful visually, yeah.
But once you pointed out, like, how basically every female character on that is treated like shit, and like it just has no, like, it's just not a good show from that character development part. I was hoping the first episode would like maybe change. First episode kind of starts off on the same kind of note. Like it seems like it could get better.
Turn the mic towards your mouth a little bit more. It fell down after your Lotsie a minute ago. Yeah. There you go.
After my Lotsie. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I can highly recommend Pose,
Oh, yes.
which
yes.
is great this season and was great last season. Oh, here's a thing that we should talk about.
Yes.
Fucking the resurrection of One Day at a Time.
Yes. Yeah, it came back.
One day. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Being
sorry.
brought back for
CBS?
season 4. No, Pop TV.
Pop TV. Schitt's Creek money.
Yeah, it is definitely Schitt's Creek money. And they probably rightly think, well, now people know we exist, so let's make a great TV show and get another burst of publicity, and then they'll be able, presumably, to like program, in theory, the last season of Schitt's Creek with the 4th season of One Day at a Time. That would be really cool.
awesome.
That'd be nice.
Neil and I realized that the Christmas special was on Netflix and we didn't know it was there, so we got to have a little treaty Schitt's Creek like blast last week, and it made Neil tear up a little bit because he's a sucker for a Christmas episode.
Oh, so am I.
Oh yeah, I thought it was cute just because I missed all the people, and I was like, yay, good. But he was all like, it gets me every time.
We're in season 2 now.
Oh, God, I'm so jealous. I wish I could go back and watch it all again for the first time. The only other show I feel that way about truly is Breaking Bad.
But you could watch Breaking Bad again?
No, I don't know if I could. It definitely wouldn't be the same as me watching it the first time.
Right.
I'm jealous of experiencing it in a naive way.
I
you
see,
know?
yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to wrap up Jane the Virgin, which I highly recommend. It's just funny and smart and kind of weird, but adorable. And it's a soap opera, obviously, but it's very funny and smart, as I said. And then Neil has been watching the Star Trek Discovery.
Yes.
Which I just kind of jumped on the last little bit with him.
Yeah.
And there were really cool things. I will say that the finale that we just watched was a little...
Season 2?
Yeah, I think so. When she was the Red Angel and like
Yeah.
whatever.
Time loops, BT dubs.
Yeah, more time loops.
Yeah.
It was weird because you knew that the Enterprise was going to survive.
Yeah.
Right. So the stakes were kind of lessened for me, but I've enjoyed it very much, and I also really dig Hot Spock.
Yeah. I was critical of him when he first got on, but he's actually really good at being Spock too. So like he's a good Spock, and now he's Hot Spock. So
You know, I'm okay with like a hot blank. You know, like I'm fine as long as the character is well developed. If they're also distractingly hot, that is fine with me.
Yeah.
Hot priest, hot Archie. Riverdale's not a good show, and also that dude,
Also,
dude is
Hot
not my
Archie
type.
is
but,
not hot.
but you get the idea behind hot Archie,
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's Archie, and then he's like ripped.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that generally.
Yeah.
Well, if my eyeballs are going to be looking at it for a while, might as well be hot.
Yeah.
Discovery, I think they finally figured themselves out. And I'm just very curious what season 3 is going to be like, because now it feels like they finally allowed themselves to work in a universe that they can actually explore in.
Yeah, what is
than-
it going to be like? Because they won't be tethered to anything from the Star Trek universe. So
Yeah.
that is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I was asking Neil, I was like, well, I mean, they're just going off into the great beyond and we don't know what happens. And he goes, exactly. Because now they don't have to be tethered to anything that already exists.
And I'm also curious how connected or what level of connection it'll have to Picard. Because there's going to be some crossover. And like, I'm curious where that'll be and how.
Are we going to see young Picard?
No, but old Picard. Because there's another Picard show.
Right, it's coming,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Mhm.
And
And
its
it's
showrunner is Michael Chabon.
yes, I just saw that today. That's so weird.
I'm so glad that an untested famous white guy is getting a shot like this. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, no shade to Michael Chabon, who is a great writer, and obviously has worked in this universe before. And I do not begrudge him anything, but
No, it's gonna be
It
tough.
is hilarious how people talk about, well, you need a certain amount of experience to even get in the door and have the conversation. And yeah, unless you're a famous white guy.
Yeah.
Has he won a Pulitzer?
I think Cavalier and Clay won a Pulitzer.
Maybe that's the doorstop. Just keeping the door
Yeah,
open.
maybe that's it. God, Tom is going to laugh at me so hard. I said there's no way that I was going to be back at 9. It is 8:48. Whoops. Well.
I've been talking for a long time.
Well, you know, we're
right in an hour.
This is nice.
We're shooting the shit. It's good.
It's just a little something for the peeps.
Well, for me too. I've missed you guys.
Yeah, missed you too.
Likewise.
I just think that in this, our time of drought louder.
Really, you could do in this our time of and apply it to almost anything going on in the world today.
Yes, exactly.
But
also really
Droughtlander is part of it.
I just hate saying the word.
Yeah.
It's been weird because ever since I was telling Janine this earlier, ever since season 1 and season 2 came out on Netflix, we're getting more like, I don't know who you are, but I love you all. But just like people out of nowhere are downloading us again.
Well, welcome, new
Yeah.
listeners.
Hello.
If you haven't, if you are just joining us from Netflix, just so you know, season 2 for us is our season 1 is Outlander season 2. Our season 2 is Outlander season 1. From there on out, it's fine. Dudelander means that it's dudes with us. Mm-hmm. I think that's all. Oh, and then there's the nickname thing.
Well, the
Yeah,
new-
but
We'll
if
figure
you-
out the
yeah.
nicknames eventually if you start listing out of order. Especially if you start with season 1, you will figure them out eventually. Some of them are a little more obscure. You might never figure out who Towel is, but like
That was my favorite one.
it's a very good one. But like beach,
That's what I swear to God
BJR,
I thought he was saying.
beach, BJR. You'll figure out who the beach is. You'll also figure out how Kevin's nicknames relate to the real nicknames. All that shit. You'll figure
How
all
long
that
do you
out.
think Kevin's got in him before he's just like tap out?
Of Outlander?
Yeah.
No, I think
He's in it for the long haul.
I think
man.
he is.
he can, because he'll honor the agreement.
All right.
He'll get crankier and crankier as
But I
time
was just
goes
saying, he does make him very cranky.
He does just kind of go like, ugh,
Yeah.
every time he has to watch.
Yeah.
Because he'll go with a bit until you can't go with a bit
You're
any
right.
further, and that's unfortunately he's signed up for a long one on this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
We also dump on Kevin a lot, but he is one of my very favorite
Yeah.
people in the whole world. and a very dear friend who I know feels the same way about me. Fuck you guys, but Kevin and I are really close. And he will probably do it for as long as I ask him, unless he still hasn't passed his kidney stone.
Oh my God, poor Kevin. I'm sorry.
Is he still dealing with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Two.
Terrible.
Jesus Christ.
Party in the front, party in the back.
Yeah, fuck that one up.
Poor guy. Anyway, I think maybe that's it though. I think we
Okay.
should not belabor.
No, I think we did
talked
good
about
here.
TV. We've welcomed
Talked
new
about
listeners.
what we're doing. New listeners.
Oh, y'all talk amongst yourselves while I pull up our people to thank. How about
Okay. Oh, yes. Thank you. Well, maybe we should try to figure out a way to schedule sometime after you get back from your big trip
Yeah.
or sometime to do a Gom Jabbar episode.
I'm down.
I know that we had pulled Dick Fox out, but I don't know if we ever talked about it. That's how drunk I get. Yeah. It's very drunk. Not tonight, though.
Do you wanna just plug the things you're doing? I can plug the things that I'm about
Yeah,
to
sure,
do.
sure.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
started
Sophie.
another podcast with our friend Brooke called Maria Salt. And basically what we do is we interview people about movies they've never seen as if they are an expert in that movie. And it's quite funny. Some of you may have heard Janine attempt to describe Outlander season 1 since he never actually saw it. But that's pretty good. You can find it, iTunes, Stitcher, all that shit. It's all around. Other than that, catch me at Redacted if you live in Chicago. I'm there sometimes.
Our next one is
Kindergarten Cop, right?
Kindergarten Cop, and then First Wives Club, and then 16 Candles.
Oh, Lord.
You guys gotta
Who's
And
writing
then
16 Candle?
Amelia. No, it's not Amelia. It's fucking Laura Marsh.
Oh.
Yeah,
Is that
it's
her
gonna be
first?
great.
It's
Yeah,
her first
it's
one?
her first one.
That's great.
And then October is Hocus Pocus, which y'all, if you're around, if you're anywhere near Illinois, you should come. We might actually do 2. No, it's in December. We're going to do 2. Never mind. Regardless, you should maybe come join us for Hocus Pocus. Because it's really fun, and I do that one, and there will be other people familiar to you in it, and probably Julie if she is available. Oh, thanks, bitch.
No, I do it. Is Elise going to be here?
No, she's not. She
Okay,
can't. She's
yeah.
going to be getting
She's
ready for
getting
her
married.
wedding.
If you want to learn more about the space podcasts, follow the Center for Space Commerce and Finance on Facebook. Center for Space Commerce and Finance. It's a mouthful. I get it, and I know. We're on Facebook. We're also on Twitter. Twitter is CSCF_nonprofit. And you can find us on LinkedIn because obviously this is more of a business thing. Those podcasts won't come out until probably September of 2019. So you got a little bit of time, but if you're interested, that's the other thing I'm really passionate about. So I'm much less drunk, a lot less nicknames, and it's not as fun as this, but it's definitely something else to listen to.
Nice. Thank you.
All right. So, as always, you can find us at various places on the internet. I've been very bad about our Twitter feed. I promise to be better, but you can find us on Twitter at Podlandercast. You can also find me at Allison Chu. Are you still ever using your Twitter account?
I mean, someday.
Okay.
Might as well. Follow me. People do.
What's your Twitter handle?
Pagel_Aaron.
That's a very strange Twitter handle for you, Janine. Get
Whose
it?
name is that?
I have no idea.
I've stolen someone's
Julie
name.
is not on Twitter, but Julie does manage our Facebook page. So if you want to chat with Julie about things, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Podlandercast, where she will respond to your messages and comment on photos and
All sorts of shit.
all kinds of shit. And you can follow me on Instagram, where occasionally I put shit for the show. I'm Allison Chu, but really that's not very often. And also I don't update Instagram very often. But occasionally I do, and then I do. We want to thank all of our listeners for listening. We want to especially thank our Patreon supporters, which you make the show possible because it's expensive. And especially thank the following lovely people: Jen Lander Drunklin, Trish McCrary, Jenna Polkowski, Dr. J, Lori McGuire, Ann Gavin, Katie Kirshner, Amanda Newton, Beth Locke, Chantel Davis, Amy Gustafson, Rachel Townsend, Steph Peterson, Tara Lucchino. Yes, yes. Meredith Ottery. I'm so sorry, Tara. It's been so long that I've forgotten the way that you told me to pronounce your name. But you are great. Meredith Ottery, Catherine Marshall Eastman, Chantel Salters, Mary Lumpkin, Tanner Cole, Kiki, The Wise, Crystal Nanavati, Ann Gibson, Molly Layton, Heather Moore, Ruth McCormick, Kara Marlowe, Flourish Root, Friday Payton, and Kathleen Moniz. Hi, Mom. Oh, and Viv Pickles.
Oh, yeah, Viv Pickles.
Which is Laura.
Hi, Laura.
And Kathleen Moniz. Hi, Mom.
Pickles.
If you want to support us on Patreon, that gives you a number of things, but specifically by far the most popular feature is access to our Slack channel, where despite the fact that I have been buried under a pile of Anthony Bourdain related sadness and content, and we all have been doing other things, the Slack channel is still alive and well.
Still alive, Ben.
Full of people talking about all kinds of things and making each other feel better when the world is deeply shitty. So, please come join us there if you so choose. And if you have things you want us to talk about in the next Summertime Jan episode of Podlander Drunkcast,
There was somebody on the Facebook page that asked us to do Game of Thrones. I'm going to tell you what, no.
I'll do it. I'll do a bonus. I'll get maybe
please
friend
do.
of the show. Kate calls it. Kate, when you hear this, text me and let me know if you want to do a Game of Thrones bonus episode.
I shan't.
For the Drunkcast people. Because, man, I could talk about... I have some
Pent-up
thoughts.
feelings.
Yeah.
Hot takes.
You might say that.
I think the question on Facebook was, do we do a podcast about Game of Thrones?
Oh, so, yeah, no.
But I'll do a bonus episode. I'll do a little bonus.
Yeah.
That's fine. If there's other things... You know what? Here's the thing. We're in a dry spot. And I have a very easy little tool that allows me to podcast remotely, and a bunch of shows that I have to watch for my job. So if you have a thing that you want to hear about on TV, let us know, and I will try to do it with one or both of these folks or with somebody else.
Fair.
When it's Game of Thrones with somebody else.
Yeah.
Right now, Kate Kulzik is going, did you just volunteer me?
Yes.
For talking about Game of Thrones again? Although, you know what? I did a Game of Thrones episode of Televerse, so whatever. Yeah. By the way, listen to the Televerse.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
They have have you ever listened to the Televerse?
I listened to the episode about the
Welcome
Sopranos.
to the that was
The Spool.
Hall of Faces. Yeah.
Yes.
No. Televerse is Kate's podcast, and there's a
Oh,
little
yeah,
song.
yeah.
I'm behind an episode, so I don't know if she's changed the song recently. But until recently, the little song was "Welcome to the," and it was Kate singing because Kate can sing, and she's accompanying herself. Welcome to the Televerse, a podcast just for TV. It's very charming. Anyway, I guess that's it.
All right.
Are you gonna take that chorizo home with you?
No, because I'm turning off the power in my apartment
Oh, because you're leaving.
for a full
Yeah.
month. Yeah.
Is it
there's no-
airplane food?
No.
Just squeeze it out like a Go-Gurt.
Okay. And on that note, bye.
Bye. Bye.